أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome again to our viewers and listeners. This is study number 4 of the Ramadan Daily Quran studies for this year 2020. I'm Zahid Aziz and I'm from the Ahmadi Anjuman Ishat Islam Lahore, UK. We'll begin this with this verse of the Holy Quran about fasting. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Shahrul Ramazan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan lin-nasi wa bayyinatin min al-huda wal-furqan. فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر صدق الله العظيم. This is from chapter 2, verse 185, and it is a part of that verse. And what I've read translates as follows. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance to people and clear proofs of guidance and the criterion. So whoever of you is present in the month, he shall fast in it. And whoever is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of days. Allah desires ease for you, and He does not desire hardship for you. This particular month of Ramadan has been chosen for fasting because it is the month in which the Quran was revealed, as stated in this verse just now. Now it is well known that the Quran was revealed in portions during a period of 23 years. Therefore, when it is said here that Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, what it means is that the revelation of the Quran first took place in that month, in a certain year. Now that first revelation to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came when he was 40 years old, during one of the nights towards the end of the month of Ramadan, when he was staying in the cave of Hira. It is stated in the Quran, "Inna anzalnahu fi lailatul qadr," the translation of which is, surely we revealed it on the night of majesty, on the Laylatul Qadr, chapter 97, verse 1. According to reports in Hadith, this night mentioned here was a night in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. This is stated, for example, in Sahih Bukhari, Hadith number 2020. Of course, fasting in Ramadan for Muslims, as we practice it, was only prescribed many years later, after the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had migrated to Medina. The greatest spiritual experience of the Holy Prophet had taken place in the month of Ramadan. That is to say, the start of the coming of the revelation to him of the Quran. So it was considered to be the most suitable month of the year for the spiritual discipline of the Muslim community through fasting. If a particular time had not been specified for fasting, particular time of the year, then this discipline would have lost all its value, because people would have been choosing then which days to fast in during the year. Because of choosing a fixed month, what happens is that when that month begins, the whole Muslim world, from one end of the world to the other, has the same experience. All sections of Muslim society suddenly change their lives, their daily routines, when the month of Ramadan begins. People who are exempted from fasting are mentioned specially either in the Quran or in the Hadith. The Quran mentions the sick and those on a journey in the above verse, and also in a verse before it. In the verse before it, which is 184, it says, "But whoever among you is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of days. And those who find it extremely hard may effect a redemption by feeding a poor one." What this means is that the sick person and the traveler who miss any fasts are required to fast afterwards, after the month of Ramadan, when the sickness has gone or when the journey has ended. And this should be done to complete the fast which were missed during the month of Ramadan. Those people who have a long-term illness, they are allowed to effect a redemption, that instead of fasting, they can feed one poor person for every fast missed. Provide the daily food for one poor person for each fast that they miss. According to Hadith, old people, pregnant women, women breastfeeding a child, they are exempt from fasting, and they should feed a poor person instead. This is mentioned in Sahih Bukhari. Now, those who cannot afford to feed a poor person can perform some other act of charity, such as helping someone in need in some other way. People who are engaged in some sort of hard manual labor as part of their work, they also may postpone their fasting to another time of the year when it's possible for them to fast. And this did apply to farmers, that, as you know, the month of Ramadan changes, it moves in the year. And it did come at times when farmers had to do harvesting and carry out quite a lot of manual labor. So they're allowed to, at that time, postpone fasts to another time of the year. The sick person and the traveler have the option of keeping the fast if they do not find it hard. Since if the fasts are not kept, the number of days must be completed afterwards when the sickness or the journey is over. So the sick person and the traveler can decide for themselves that if they do not actually find it hard during the month of Ramadan, they can fast during it. If they don't, then they have to complete the fasts in any case after the month has passed and their sickness or the journey has ended. So this depends on how hard they find it. Well, it's up to their judgment. And this flexible nature of the words of the Quran is reflected in many of the most reliable hadith reports. There are these reports showing that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself kept a fast while on a journey. In one hadith, it is stated that on a certain journey, on a very hot day, only the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and one other man kept the fast. The Holy Prophet ﷺ was once questioned by a person whether he should or should not stop fasting when on a journey. And that person himself wanted to fast during the journey. And the Holy Prophet replied, if you wish, you can fast, and if you wish, you can break it. This is in Sahih Bukhari. When people traveled with the Holy Prophet ﷺ during the month of Ramadan, some kept the fast and some didn't. And those who kept the fast did not find fault with those who broke it. And those who weren't fasting didn't find any fault with those who were fasting. Now there is a saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that it is not a virtuous act to fast on a journey. This is in Bukhari Hadith 1946. But he said this to a man who was in severe distress because of his fast, and people were standing around him to provide shade for him from the heat. So that is, in connection with that man, the Holy Prophet said that it's not a virtuous act to fast on a journey. But of course, as I've said, you may do so if you don't find it hard and if it's possible to do. Now, in all cases, when fasts are missed in Ramadan and a person needs to make up for them after the month of Ramadan, that can be done at any time before the coming of the next year's Ramadan. And this is stated in Bukhari as well. So with that, the study number 4 comes to an end. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.